Hi there, welcome to the Jansen Guitar Studio online guitar lessons. Today's lesson 1, so let's learn to play a guitar. But before we learn to play the guitar, a really useful thing is to know what all the parts of the guitar are called. So let's just run over a standard classical nylon strung guitar like this and what all the parts are called. So we start at the top here with the head and the neck and the body. So it is very much like a person, except with no arms and legs, so that way your guitar won't get up and run away if you play it badly. Tuning keys. Now what's your best to do is not play with the tuning keys too much until you actually know how to play the guitar and how to tune the guitar. So as you learn to play the guitar, your ears will get in tune, and then that way when we tune the guitar we actually know what we're doing. So unless you know what you're doing, you're best not to try and play with the tuning keys. This is the nut. The nut is the thing that keeps the strings an equal distance apart, which also makes it easier to play. Now on the fretboard are all these individual frets, and they are what differentiate between one note and the next. Just like playing a piano, but without the keys. Down this end, on the body, we have a sound hole. We have the front of the guitar, which is called a sounding board. We have a bridge. And we have a little thing here called a saddle. Also, what's important to know when you learn to play the guitar is what the string numbers are. So the bottom string, the smallest string, is number 1. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the smallest one is 1, and the fatter guy on the top, he's number 6. The frets are also numbered, 1 from the nut end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Often 5 has a dot. This classical guitar doesn't have a dot on it, but you notice that both the electric and my other acoustic both have dots on both the 3rd fret and the 5th fret, and they're called location dots, which helps you to locate the position that you are on the fretboard. Makes them a lot easier to play. Once you understand what all the parts of the guitar are called, you'll notice them on sheet number 1 if you've downloaded the manual online, or if you've had a look at the picture on the Jansen Guitar Studio website, you'll notice that there is a picture of a guitar and all the things that we've just discussed are actually mentioned on there. Next we need to learn to strum the guitar. Now I recommend that you learn to play the guitar without a plectrum or a pick, just using your fingers to get a warmer, clearer sound. Just use your thumb and run it down over the side, running down and make sure you're getting all the strings nice and evenly right over the sound hole. Make sure you're sitting nice and comfortably, perhaps not on the lounge sofa, perhaps not cross-legged on the bed to start with, because you want to learn to play the guitar successfully, and success comes from doing things the right way. That's called a thumb strum, and in your lesson sheets that's explained on page number 2, the thumb strum. Now let's learn to play chords. At this end of the guitar, as we said before, you have frets running from number 1 from the nut end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have strings running from the bottom of the guitar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Your fingers on your left hand also have numbers, so you have a thumb, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's like playing by numbers. Sum 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just another way of remembering that you have a thumb 1 or sum 1, 2, 3, 4. So that finger there next to your thumb is number 1. Let's learn to play a chord. This first chord is chord A on page number 3 of your lesson sheets. Take your first finger, place it on the 4th string. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4th string. and in the second fret. Then, when that one is placed well in the back of the fret, put your second finger on underneath on the third string in that second fret, and your third finger underneath on the second string in that second fret. And then thumb strum. That is the A chord. Let's try it again, a wee bit faster. First finger, fourth string, second fret. Second finger, third string, second fret, and your third finger on the second string in the second fret. 4, 3, 2 is the order of your fingers falling on the guitar. Once you understand it, they go 1, 2, 3, 4. Always start with your first finger being your most accurate finger. 4, 3, 2, and strum. What I'm doing now is on and off. So when you first learn a chord, it's good to go on and off at least 8 times to make sure that you're starting to get your fingers muscle memory sorted out so that your brain knows where A is as well as your fingers. So 4, 3, 2, strum, fingers off. 4, 3, 2, strum, fingers off. 4, 3, 2, strum, and so on. Here's a look at a close-up of the A chord diagram. Let's put A on. 4, 3, 2, and strum it 4 times. Okay, now we understand how to play the A chord, and we've gone on and off 8 times, so we know we're getting a relatively clear sound. Let's play our first song. Now I recommend that all my students sing with their guitar. It aids to the enjoyment. It also is your teacher when I'm not around, so when you're playing through your chords, at the moment we've only got one, so we can't really make a mistake unless we've put our fingers in the wrong places to start with. But when you start learning to play, you're going to learn another chord, and before you know it, you're going to have 5, 6, 7, 12, 20 chords. So it's good to have nicknames for your chords, and it's good to learn them one by one so we don't have to come back and have this lesson of how to learn A again. So again, 4, 3, 2, strum. I also call this chord 3 in a row. It's the only chord that we learn that has those 3 fingers in a row like that on the guitar in this initial first phase of learning guitar, the A chord. There's more explanation about why you should sing with your guitar on the Mark Jansen Guitar Studio website. Have a look at the website that I've got here scrolling below, and it'll explain a lot more about why you should sing with your guitar and a lot more helpful hints about buying guitars and all sorts of things. Just have a look at there sometime. Here we go with our first song. Thumb strum over the sound hole to help us get our nice key. And away we go. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Well done. You've just played your first song on the guitar. That wasn't so hard, so let's use that as step number 1 and build another step on that right away now. So if you turn over the page to page number 4, you'll now see that there's another chord up there. This chord is called the E7. The good thing about E7 is it only involves 2 fingers. So starting with our first finger, in the first fret this time, on the 3rd string. Then your second finger goes over the fret bar, up onto the 5th string, 3 and 5. 3rd string, 5th string. Now thumb strum. Quite a different sound this one. A lot of 7th chords have a sound that's almost like a question mark, like, huh? The E7. First finger on the 3rd string, second finger on the 5th string, and strum. Now let's go through our on and offs 8 times. 3, 5, strum. 3, 5, strum. And carry on 8 times. Let's have a closer look at the diagram of the E7. Then in your own time, change to E7, 3 and 5, and strum that 4 times. Okay, well done. So now, people often ask, well, what am I supposed to practice? It's nice that you showed me chords, but how do I practice when I'm at home? If you have a close look on your page number 4, you'll see number 1 written on the top. The first thing you should do every time you pick up the guitar in the next wee while is play your A chord on and off about 8 times, or maybe less if you know that it's sunk in and you're really starting to understand how to play A with your 4, 3, 2 strum. Then move on to your E7, 3 and 5 and strum. And go on and off until you again feel comfortable that you know that chord. Okay, let's try the song on the bottom now. You'll notice that there's a D in the brackets. We're going to learn the D next time. And then we'll learn to play the song with the D. But just for now, we're going to play it with the 2 chords. So we're going to hold our A right through the whole top of that first line. Michael, row your boat ashore, hallelujah. Now we move down onto the second line. Michael, row your boat, and now above ashore is an E7, so that tells us that's where we need to change our chord. So now we go 3 and 5, E7, ashore, hallelujah. Now above Lu is A, Lu, then back to E7, and then back to A, Ya. And that song has a lot more character than the first one because we've got the chord changes in it. Let's try it a wee bit faster. Michael, row your boat ashore, hallelujah. Michael, row your boat, now E7, ashore, hallelujah, and then back to A, then E7, and back to A, Ya. Your second song. Now normally I recommend that that's all you need to learn for the first week of learning to play the guitar. Really allow those 2 chords to sink in, then you don't have to learn them again. You really want to learn right, learn for life. That's been my motto in my guitar business for the last 20 years. I really think that's true because you want to allow time for your information, your new information, to sink in and for that muscle memory to be second nature so you can play the guitar without having to look down the whole time. So now let's turn to the back of the book and let's try the wee bit longer song. He's got the whole world in his hands. Now I've designed the book like that solely for the purpose that you can work towards the centre of the book and that you always have your lesson sheets at the front and that you have your longer songs running from the back to the middle, and that way you're never trying to find a chord or whatever because the chords are always at the front and your songs are always running from the back to the front. Okay? So turn right to the back page. He's got the whole world in his hands. It's also available on the markjansenguitarstudio.com website. Just right click on the picture, save it and put it up on your screen. Okay, here we go. First line, put our A on, 3 in a row, or 4, 3, 2. Get our thumb strum ready and let's start. He's got the whole world in his hands. Now the next line's got an E7, so we stop. We change to our E7, 3, 5. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. And then we stop. Then we change back to our A, 4, 3, 2, and we strum. He's got the whole world in his hands. Then we stop, change to E7. He's got the whole world in his, and then back to A, hands. Let's try verse 2. He's got my brothers and my sisters in his hands. He's got my brothers and my sisters in his hands. He's got my brothers and my sisters in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. Now, a lot of people also ask me, why do we start with such simple songs to start with? Well, that's quite easy, isn't it? We've just learnt to play the guitar. It's no use playing a bit of Coldplay or Taylor Swift or whatever you're into right now when you only know a couple of chords on the guitar. Just wait a wee bit longer. We start to play Green Day, we start to play Eric Clapton, Neil Young, you name it, we just about play it. It all starts with the first step. The first step is learning to play A, learning to thumb strum your guitar, play Row, Row, Row Your Boat. That's a good step. Then learn to change between the two chords, A and E7, A and E7. So again, just to recap, start with A going on and off, on and off, on and off until you can get A clearly, about 8 times. E7, on and off, about 8 times. Then go through the chord strums in the middle of that page and you'll see that you play A 4 times as evenly as you can. And then in your own time change to E7, 3 and 5 and strum that as best you can. And then start to mix it up with quicker changes through the rest of those rows. And then of course play the song on the bottom, Michael Row the Boat Ashore, and then duck to the end of your book and play He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. And we'll see you next week for a new chord and 3 more songs. Thanks for watching.